What's up guys, NepentheZ here and welcome back to another episode of the Pack Only Road to Glory. Today guys, we're going to be going through the games that get us into Gold 3 for the month. I'm a little bit disappointed with my monthly performance. I expected a bit more. I'm so intrigued with how matchmaking works. Apologies for the light as well, look at that. I will get blinds this week, I promise, I swear down. By next Monday, I will have a blind that fits over that so that the lighting isn't an issue. It's so bad. It's like, geez, it's like I'm like one of those brand new YouTubers that's first ever started. Like, yeah, doesn't matter anyway. We're starting off here with some packs that we've got for today. So a couple of 82 plus rated packs that I've grinded up. I actually got a couple of usable players out of those as well, and a few silver packs that I got from the Foot Birthday stuff. Don't forget to do the Foot Birthday daily challenges because they're quite easy and they're going to stay easy. And you get, if you do one every day, you get a 125k pack untradeable at the end, which will still also contain birthday items. So I'm looking forward to that on this account, actually. I think it's going to be quite good. Yeah, I end up getting, well, I need 7 wins to get gold for the month. So spoiler alert, we get 7 wins. No surprises there. And yeah, it's weird, and matchmaking's an issue for me because yesterday, I was playing on my main account, my Road to Glory account, and I was 15 wins and 7 losses, and I matched up against none other than #TAS, who at the time was 32 wins and 1 loss. So I was told from EA that there is a matchmaking system, and it is based on success. Whose success? Is it a situation where the more you win, the easier opponent you get? Because #TAS came up against someone who just isn't in his league. You know, he was far better than me. He beat me comprehensively, and I shouldn't be facing off against a player like that especially when I've got like a record that's barely double positive, right? I was a bit intrigued. I'm intrigued generally how matchmaking works, and it's very shocking to me that EA released no information on how it works. They don't tell you. I thought it was also proximity based because when I lived in London, I lived in North London, like around the Essex area, and I would constantly get people with like the team names of Dagenham or Essex Boys and things like that, or even like to more North London for like Enfield and places like that. I'd see the team names. Now that I've moved down south of England, I live in Bournemouth, I still get those same names. So I wonder if I'm connecting to the London servers more, and this may just sound like excuses, but I genuinely wonder if that's why I have such a hard time sometimes, because I've got a much longer ping than certain people that I'm playing against. And then a thread on Reddit today came about where a guy was in, I think he was living in United States, and he played against one guy from Portugal and one guy from Germany, which means people are playing against people way outside their region, and that would be a huge influence on like, you know, input delay, or just, you know, when the game just feels heavy just because it's a bad connection and you're not able to play your best FIFA. You know, that's an issue. So I am intrigued as to how matchmaking works, but the way we started off on this account, quite often I was getting a lot of wins very quickly. And then because we don't know how matchmaking works, it changed one week. I went from playing with really bad teams and low chemistry with players with, like, you know, we played with that one striker that had like 50 something pace for about 20 games and he scored like 23 goals or something. It was good times for that. And we were doing really good. I was coming up against typically, you know, poorer opponents. And then one weekend, the weekend when I got my best team, when we got that upgraded Kante, Nemanja Matic, Chris Smalling, Hector Bellerin, Luke Shaw, we had like the attack was good. That full BPL team that we had that was really good. That was one of the most difficult weekends for me on this account, yet it was with the absolute best team. So for me, something changed in matchmaking that didn't allow me to be able to, didn't allow me to get easy wins, basically, is what I'm trying to say. But basically something changed in matchmaking where I was getting more difficult opponents. And for this account, that makes it really difficult because my teams are not meta teams. You know, I've got some meta players. I've got Kante, I've got Matic, I've got Jamie Vardy. But then I've got players like Balassi and Jesus Navas and Ander Herrera. You know, I've got Joel Matip. I've got a lot of non-meta players that really, really hurt my performance when I come up against a good player with a meta team. It makes it really, really difficult for me. to be able to play a strong game. And I know I'm an advocate of player skill is far more important than team. But it would be wrong to suggest, and I've never suggested this, I think people have a misconception that I have suggested this. It would be wrong to say team is not important at all, because it absolutely is. It's just not a huge factor. The way it works, like, in my opinion anyway, if you've got a skill like this, let's say you're this guy up here, and you're playing a guy down here for skill, team is just not relevant. The closer the skill gap, the more important the team becomes. So when I was in what feels like a lower tier of matchmaking for opponents, my bad teams were still way good enough because I was just a much better player than my opponents. Now I feel like I've been put in a higher tier for matchmaking. My average teams I've got with a few meta players here or there, they don't quite cut the mustard quite often, and it makes it far more difficult for me to generate the wins. Before I had like a bad team, I would easily get to the 18 win mark or to the 11 win mark, whether I was going for silver 3 or gold 3, or silver 2 or gold 3, whatever. I would get to those win marks in a very reasonable amount of games. Like quite often I got to 18 wins and 7 losses one week with a really, really bad team. Now, when I get to 18 wins, it usually takes me 30 games. So I usually go 18 and 12, which isn't really a bad record, especially given the fact that I rage quit some games and so on and so forth. It just makes it far more difficult, and that's why going back to the point at the start of the video. This was supposed to be difficult anyway. I'm not complaining that it's difficult. It's just interesting to me how it varies so wildly. I honestly had in the back of my mind, I was like, look, I can get elite for the month. I really can. You know, if I play my best FIFA and play good, if I was playing how I was playing against those players in the early stages and played 25, 30 games, I was sitting there thinking I'd easily get 22, 23 wins a week. I'll be able to pull myself into elite. That'd be great. But I just can't do it. So gold 3 is pretty. It's not the best for me. I was expecting to get elite for the month, but hopefully what we get. Hopefully, from the weekend league rewards from this weekend, which won't be great because I'm not going to gold 3 this weekend, from the 125k pack that we can hopefully generate for Foot Birthday, and from any other packs that we get throughout between now and next week, hopefully I can generate a team good enough to actually be able to compete, so that next month I can play to going towards elite. That's the aim, and with the monthly rewards as well, that's what I was going for. So hopefully the monthly rewards, I only get a 3-pack, and it'll probably be next week, but hopefully next week out of my 3-pack I get a couple more usable players that will fit nicely into my team and help me on my journey through. Anyway guys, I've got some comments. Andreas Kona says, you just need 7 Brazilians, not 10, talking about the Brazilian South American SBC. I am aware. It's just for me, for you to do it with less than, like with 7 Brazilians only, what you need to do is you need to get a perfect link of 2 players and a link of like, for example, if you had 2 strikers, both German from the same club, and then a German cam from a different league, then you could go and get yourself with less players, because that perfect link gives everyone chemistry. When you're trying to do it like I am, where I don't have enough perfect links and strong links, I have to use more Brazilians to be able to fit the chemistry in. A lot of people were suggesting a lot of things again in the comment section for the Brazilian SBC, and I take it all on board, and I've looked at everything you say, you know, but unfortunately you guys are overlooking some of the specifications. Like some guy said to me, literally just convert or just put Perez at right mid, and that's fine. It gives me enough chemistry still, and it boosts the rating a bit, and it gives me a rare card. However, I already have 2 Calcio A players in there, and you can only have a maximum of 2 players from one league one time. You can't have 3 from one league. So when you guys are suggesting me things, like somebody said put Mauricio back in, but he's from the Russian league. I've already got the left mid from the Russian league, so I can't do that. You know, I've looked at every alternative. I'm just a player short. Actually, I'm sure there is enough players in my club to get it right if I, like, you know, if I showed you every player in the club, but I can't possibly do that. But I'm literally 1 or 2 players away from completing it. So with the rewards this week, I hopefully will pick up the player that is going to be good enough for us to be able to complete the Brazilian SBC. Which would be very, very nice. Rashid El Ghazar says, this is a long comment, but please read through. Most people in FIFA let the AI defend for them. I would love to know what difficulty they're set on, legendary, ultimate, beginner, or semi-pro, etc. That could possibly explain why some people, and then he's put in brackets, Nick28T, believe in the kickoff, glitch, or boost, which I want to address that point initially, really. Because if they're set on beginner, then maybe explains why your defender stays still, or when your opponent has put the controller down, it is seemingly harder to score. I would love to hear your opinion. Keep up the amazing works. Love to you and your family. Love from the US. Well, thank you for the kind words and comment, dude. First and foremost, I don't know what difficulty they're set on. As you said, sometimes it's difficult to score against people when they put their controller down. And that would indicate that it is not on amateur or semi-pro, because on amateur or semi-pro, the players pretty much run out of the way for you. But when you play against the AI, when somebody sets their controller down, the AI will actually like track you, shield you, cover the runs. So I would, if I had to guess, I would probably say that it was on professional, potentially on world class. I don't think it's on anything more than that, because it is still relatively easy to score against someone when they put the controller down if you know what to do. But in general, yeah, they do defend quite well. In terms of you saying that could possibly explain why some people believe in the kickoff glitch and then picking out Nick28T, it's like the kickoff glitch or boost or issue isn't a situation like handicap scripting or momentum, where people have confirmation bias and they select things that suit their argument to say, hey, you know, I was 2-0 up and then I lost 3-2, this confirms momentum. Or they say, I had a 188 team and I lost to a 182 team, this confirms handicap. Or, I conceded a goal in the 90th minute, this confirms scripting. Those are just opinions of people of how they play, right? I don't believe in scripting, I don't believe in handicap, and I don't believe in momentum. I believe that you are as good as you are, and you will lose games and you will win games. Sometimes you will lose games you deserve to win, and sometimes you win games you deserve to lose based on how you're performing on a game-to-game basis. And one of the main reasons why I've become a very big believer, because I used to believe that there was something in the game, that there was scripting or handicap or momentum way back in FIFA 12, because I would just lose games where I'd be like, how is that possible? But Foot Champions, if anything, has shown how there is no scripting, handicap or momentum. And the reason for that is because no matter what team I use on my Road to Glory account, whether I use a generic basic team, whether I use a super team or so on and so forth, I always fit in a very small win bracket from about 27 wins as a minimum win ratio up to about 32 to 33 wins as a maximum ratio. Now, if there was scripting or handicap or momentum in this game, how could it be possible that for 16 or 20 or 24 weeks consecutively, I will consistently fall in the same kind of rank? It's not possible. If there was ulterior motives in this game, I wouldn't consistently hit the same rank all the time, which basically says that my player skill or my player ability is what takes me there. So that you know, that like for me, like scripting, momentum, handicap, like Foot Champions has gone a long way to disproving those theories. But when you look at the kickoff boost, and it's not just at kickoff, and this is where I think a lot of people really believe in scripting and handicap and momentum. But when you look at the kickoff boost, it's just a design flaw in the game. It's not, and what you'll notice is as well is it's not even just your defense. Like if you score and then your opponent has a kickoff, watch how his defense reacts when he kicks off as well, because both defenses and midfields react the same, where they're not paying attention to the game. Like sometimes your opponent will kick off and you will see one of your defenders just kind of like turn around and like walk off a few meters. He has not registered that the game is back playing. And that's just a design flaw in the game. And that's why sometimes if you steal the ball off your opponent straight after he's kicked off, you now have the kickoff boost because his defense are also reacting the same, which is why you get quite often someone will go 1-0 up and then 2-0 up straight away, for the simple fact that both defenses react idiotically. And I believe it's something that EA really need to address going forwards, because it's not like in a game that should be esports, or a game that's definitely building in its competitive nature, to have such a fundamental game issue is absolutely horrendous. Matteo Gallardo says, "Hi Nep, I have an issue with what you said about the Maestro chem style and how it doesn't boost some key stats. So I took the time to compare Maestro with Hunter and Catalyst on the 89 informed Thiago from his team of the week, and Maestro boosts all the stats from shooting as Hunter does, except for penalties. Also not as much as a Hunter does, and from stats from passing it boosts all the stats that Catalyst does except for crossing and curve. Again, not as much as a Catalyst does. With such information, I would like if you address this thing on your next vid, bearing in mind I mind also how this chem style is not expensive at all. For me, it seems to do wonders, especially when applied to cams and wingers with high pace and poor shooting and passing." So what you're saying is that it boosts the same stuff as Hunter and Catalyst, obviously apart from pace, but it doesn't boost them as much. And that, first of all, is a problem, because it's not boosting them as much, right? So when we look at Maestro, I'll use. Let me just take a player that doesn't have max stats, because I need to show you why I personally don't like it. So Maestro boosts positioning by 5 and finishing by 5. Is not much. It also boosts volleys, which is just entirely irrelevant, and then it boosts long shots and shot power by 10, which is quite nice. It boosts vision by 5, which isn't that much. It boosts long passing by 5, which is quite nice, and short passing by 10, which is quite nice, especially for a midfielder. And it boosts free kicks by 10. Now, free kicks, again, is irrelevant, because free kicks in this game are just so wild anyway that I've scored free kicks with players who have horrendous free kick stats, and then I miss easy free kicks with players who have incredible free kick stats. And it doesn't boost crossing, nor does it boost curve. Now, I think personally curve is a very important stat, especially for midfielders that you're going to be shooting with, because the finesse shot is actually an overpowered shot, and the more curve you have, the likelier you've got a chance of actually curving it in. So in that essence, it only boosts it boosts free kicks by 10 points, which is just 10 wasted points. You're putting 10 points into a category that you might use a maximum of 1 or 2 times a game. You know, very rarely do people get shooting opportunities from free kicks, unless it's in a game where someone's purposely fouling, in which case you're probably winning the game anyway, so the free kick doesn't even matter that much. And then dribbling, it doesn't boost agility nor balance, which are 2 stats that are very, very important to feeling fast and being agile on the ball. It boosts it boosts reactions by 5, ball control by 5, and dribbling by 10. And again, it boosts stats that just aren't important, and not by that much. Like, you know, for me personally, it just boosts stats that just I don't look for in a player, that don't really benefit me personally. If it works for you, feel free, you do you and use it. But for me personally, I've tried the Maestro, several times, and I don't particularly like it. And I think it puts too many stats in non-important areas, where a different chemistry style will put that 10 points in free kicks. I would rather have them in finishing, or long shots, or pace, or positioning, or curve, or dribbling. I don't want 10 points in free kicks, because I'm not going to be using those 10 points. It's literally a waste of 10 boosted points, But I take on board what you said. Darren McDonald says, "Hey Nep, do you think FIFA is heavily confidence-based? I used to never be able to qualify through the daily knockouts, and last weekend I exploited my way to the weekend league and finished Silver 1. I felt a better player after. My next attempt at the daily knockouts, I flew through and won first time. What are your thoughts?" Absolutely, dude. One of my biggest issues personally is the fact that I can't stay composed for long, and I let certain things in games trigger me to the point where it just changes the way I play. And I'm sure that's the same for many people, but not for pros. The pros are able to stay composed, are able to keep their game at 100% every game. For me, I might play in a weekend of 40 games on my Road to Glory account. I might play 25 games at 100%, and then 10 games at 80%, and 5 games at 50%, just because it's not necessarily just confidence, but if you're playing well, you're playing well. And then when I lose a game, I usually go on lost streaks, because I feel unjustified in that loss, or I struggle to recapture the form. I start chasing wins. Like, when I lose a game, the next game I go into, every pass is a forward pass, rushing to try and get a goal to put this guy away, to make sure that I know that I can win. When the sensible thing to do would be to just take 5 minutes, just walk away, recompose, get a glass of water, re-energize, just relax for a minute, and then go back into it. And when you go back into that game, just play a competent, confident game. But a lot of people, myself included, just lose their minds when they take losses or when things go against them, and it causes these huge win and loss streaks. And like you said, you know, you exploited your way through and now you feel a better player. I would say, though, you're probably a better player now because you've got a weekend league under your belt. Even though you finished Silver 1, you didn't quite auto-qualify again, the caliber of players you would have played against would have just upped your game without you even realising, just by playing against better opponents. So then when you went back into the daily knockouts, which are ridiculously easy now, you was able to win quite comfortably. And the daily knockouts are ridiculously easy as well because once a good player wins it, they can't play it again anymore. That's it. It's one time only. So what we'll find is over the next few weeks, a lot of people will get into weekend league that have never ever been able to qualify before. And in actual fact, I get so many tweets these days of people saying, I've qualified for the weekend league for the first time ever, wish me luck. Because what it have done by limiting people to one win, I think is very good. It has opened the doors up for a lot more people to be able to get into the weekend league. But anyway, guys, this is the end of the gameplay. I ended up going on to 8 wins instead of 7 wins, just so that I could get to Silver 3, I believe, and get the reward for Silver 3. We're going to go into a live section of the video now where we talk a little bit about the team, show some stats, talk about the gameplay and any potential future aspects of the pack-only Road to Glory on this weekend. So this is going to be the end of the post-com gameplay. I will be right back. So guys, that is it for this month. We did hit gold, which was the target, I think, at the start of the month. I think I had some intentions to be able to hit elite. I don't think I'm going to hit elite until we get like really strong squads, you know, because there are still a few issues with the squads. I actually had fun playing with all the different squads. I'll be honest with you guys, the Calcio A team, not great. The stamina levels of some of the players in the teams just not very good. I was missing easy chances. However, the Bundesliga team, very good. I ended up pushing on to Silver 3. I may well still play some more games. I'm not, what am I? I'm 8-4 right now. I haven't had the best of it. I was 2-0 up against the guy. I think I showed it in the video. 2-0 up against a guy with like Messi and Bale and stuff. Absolutely cruising in the game, and I got booted off the EA servers. So that 8-4 should theoretically be 9-3. But it's not. It's 8-4. So we're there. But yeah, for the month, I went on to Silver anyway. So for the month, we got 82. We needed 82. We got 83. 83 out of 135 games. That's not bad. It's a win rate that would see me. Now, if I actually played every game and stuck with this win rate, 83 is what percent of 135? So that is no, I don't want a step-by-step guide. I just want a percentage calculator. There we go. So percentage calculator. What is 83 is what percent? I probably could have just done this in my head a little bit quicker. It's a 61% win rate. So if we on average won 61% is what of 40. That would be basically 24 to 25 wins a week. So if we did play all 40 games every week, we would likely finish with about 25 wins a week. 25 wins a week, as you guys well know, is actually enough to hit elite for the month and is gold 1. And we would have had better teams, but better teams and more progression is for going forwards. For this week, I always anticipated not really playing all the games. It was Foot birthday this week. I wanted a more relaxed weekend, and I've enjoyed that. I've had that. It's currently 8:20 on Sunday night. I'm going to go back onto my main account now and play that up to gold 3, just so I don't have to qualify on there. I'm currently 13 wins on that. So by the time I get the 5 wins to there, depending on what I've got going on for the rest of the evening, I might come back onto this account and get to Silver 2. And beyond, basically, where I can go. The reason why I say to Silver 2 specifically is because we're at Silver 3 now, but Silver 2 gives you 15,000 coins, a mega pack and a rare gold pack. That's actually 2 really good packs. Of course, the Silver one is far better, 14 wins. 6 wins might be easy, especially because I've only played 12 games. If I play super late, 3 o'clock in the morning or so, people rage quit. First goal, rage quit. First goal, rage quit. You know, it's a more intense style of FIFA that probably suits me a little bit better, and I might be able to get through wins a little bit quicker. I might suffer more losses as well, because on the same token, if I do go 1-0 down myself, I'll just quit. Because it seems to be like the later in the day you go on Sundays, unless you're like an elite player, top 100 and stuff, it's like first goal wins, because people are like, okay, I need to move on to the next game. Because exactly like I would be doing, if I could get through 7 games in an hour, and 4 of them were wins and 3 of them were losses because it was like first goal scored, I'll take that. You know, I'll take 4 wins in an hour if it meant 3 losses. I don't mind that too much. So I might come back on and push on to Silver 2 or Silver 1. I can't possibly for the life of me imagine I'll be able to get to Gold 3. That's still 10 more wins. As I say, I usually get super tired around like 3 or 4 a.m. to the point where I'm not interested in playing FIFA. So I've got about 8 hours between now and then to make a video, play some games on my main account, and see what we can do on this account. Now, in terms of this account, we've got, as I say, we've got four pretty good squads. I'll show you the stats of the 2 squads we've got here. Not custom tactics, player stats of the Bundesliga squad and so on and so forth. Obviously, the 3 subs don't count. Actually, the 3 subs, but Embolo we've used a fair bit. Remember, I can't remember what did we use him as a sub. We might have used him as a sub as well. But in terms of goals, Embolo is the top scorer. Bojan has been amazing because we had him in the team. Did we have a Bundesliga squad? Maybe we had a Bundesliga squad already. Oh, we did right at the start, didn't we? Like 4 or 5 weeks ago. Koeman's done pretty well. 3 goals in 4 games and an assist. Hamsik obviously has been used as a sub a bit. Dembele's done alright as well. 2 goals, 2 assists in 4 games. Salah with 2 goals and an assist in 3 games, which I actually brought him on as a sub in the game that I just played, that we just finished up on. Jan Sommer has got a goal as the goalkeeper, as you do, and Perrin also has a goal. They're the penalties, so I give all my penalties to goalkeepers all the time. So there's that, and then so that team's quite nice. It's an interesting team. A few players in every position. Like, we need a better centre back here. Bender's not bad, but he's not great. We need a better right back. Brzezinski, like, his defending and physical are horrendous. His passing is he's just got pace. He's just a pace merchant. And like, against some people that's okay, but against people that know how to play this game, that's not okay. And very similar with Baba, just a pace merchant really. He's much better defending and physical, much better dribbling as well than Brzezinski, but he's not a great player. Gustavo's good. Bojan I struggle with, because although he's done really good for us, 13 goals and 5 assists in 19 games, his stamina levels are just so bad. So he gets subbed out a lot. And Lars Bender as well, he's actually pretty decent. Again, pace problems. My whole team, well, not my whole team, but like Gustavo and Lars Bender just a little bit slow. Bojan not like rapid, quick. And then in the attack as well, we've got some pace here. Koeman, very nice. Enjoyed using him. Again, physical's a bit of an issue. Dembele, physical's a bit of an issue. But again, the 5-star, 4-star just gives you a nice dimension. And then Bolo's another decent player. I love the fact he's 6'1", he's 4-star, 4-star. I like him, I enjoy him a lot. But there's a few players that we need to upgrade in this squad. And in the Calcio A squad as well. Actually, there's a lot of players in this squad. We definitely need a new midfielder instead of Saponara. He is, for a guy with 4-star, 4-star and 6 foot tall, he gets lost in the game. He's got 31 defending, like Diego Costa has got better defending that. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's how bad this guy is. And he comes as a cam, so you'd think his defending was a bit better. His stamina levels are horrendous. He's always dead. Balde Diao, I thought would be fun. Not very good. 2 games, nothing done for me. Marek Hamsik, we played him as a sub a lot, but again, just doesn't really do much for me. No defense, no physicality. The same with your man Saponara, no defense, no physicality. The only person with any decent defending or any decent physical stats is Parolo. And yeah, he's the best of the 3 centre midfielders. Bonucci and Bonatia are fine. Perrin's okay. Perez is fine. Jesus needs to be replaced. So there's at least 4 players in this team that I would be very happy to replace very quickly. Before I would say, yeah, let's consider moving on to a push for, elite for the month. And quite on the same token, we need a new cam. Kovacic let me down so many times with his bad shooting. Trigueros as well let me down so many times with his bad defending, his bad physicality, his lack of pace. There were so many games that I could have won had I had a few better midfielders. Sergio Roberto I really enjoy. I think he's very good. The defence is solid. Of course, we've got Asensio in that upgrade pack this episode, I think, actually, and Musacchio as well in the upgrade pack. So they've both been quite good, but a new centre-back would be nice to partner with Varane. Felipe Luis is fine, DeMarcos is fine, and Zonzi is absolutely fine. Very, very fond of Zonzi. I would say on this team, more specifically, Trigueros and Kovacic need to be changed. Bakambu's okay. Doesn't really get involved much. For a guy with 88 pace, you'd think he'd be a little bit more involved. But for some reason, I don't know why, he doesn't really cut the mustard. But then the man of the show, the absolute best player on the team by far, is Jovetic. 82 games, all FUT champs. No divisions games. We haven't played a single game in divisions. No offline games. No qualifying matches because we got him when we've been hitting auto qualification. And he's got 101 goal contributions in 82 games. Bearing in mind, quite a few of those games I quit. I'd say you could probably shave 10 games off of that, or add five goals, 5 assists or something. Because like in a game, if I was like say 5-3 down in the 80th minute, sometimes I will quit. And if Jovetic had scored all 3 of those goals, when you quit like that, they don't count for stats. So he's got some missing, but on the face of it, an incredible contribution. And then last but not least, the BPL team. I tell you what, guys, that Jamie Vardy pool was absolutely huge. He's very good. 3 goals and 2 assists in 3 games. Balassi, I've had a lot of fun with Balassi. 12 goals and 2 assists in 13 games. However, Jesus Navas is utter garbage. 7 goals, 14 assists, and he just lets me down so much. He's so weak, no skill moves. Like, it genuinely lets me down. The midfield is great. Big fan of the midfield. The defence is actually very good as well. I'd say just to replace for this team, definitely replace Navas when I can, replace Herrera when I can, although he's been quite good. He's not been the best, but he's been quite good. Matic and Kante are fine. And although Balassi's been good for me, I wouldn't mind getting a better player there, you know, if we could at one stage or another. So those are the teams, guys. That's all of it, all said and done. As I say, we finished silver, silver 3 so far this week. I'll go on to gold 3, or I'll push on as much as I can later on. But what I'll say is for the knockouts going forwards, no entry requirements in the next daily tournament knockout and an Electrum Players Pack to win it. It might actually be worth going and playing in both of these tournaments. Just building a team. I'd be very surprised if it takes me more than 2, maybe 3 attempts to win one of these tournaments. You know, the teams are good enough that I should be competing in these. So I might, the fact that I haven't qualified anyway, I'm going to have to go and win one of them. So, I'll see what we can do on Monday for competing in one of these things here. Preferably this one. The Electrum Players Pack looks like a nice pack. But this is going to be the end of the video for now, guys. If you did enjoy it, be sure to leave a like, rating, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. But for now, guys, I'm out. Peace.